I'm Cynthia Meacham. I'm here on the Gypsy Kiss, and I'm going to chat with Toby tonight and talk all about Fenndango.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. As you can see, I've got a special guest in the house. We are going to talk about Fenndango, but we're also going to do emails, texts, voicemails, and then we'll take some inbound calls. See what kind of questions you have for Cynthia. Hi there, Miss Cynthia. Oh, you know what? I forgot to change the background there, so we still have the bias. Did I make one for tonight? Hold on. Let me do this real quick. I got to change it because I'll feel guilty if we don't do this right. If we don't do it right, image properties. Give me 1 second, because then for the rest of the week it'll be a mess right there. Right. That's how.
That's better.
Okay.
Yep, that looks good.
Yeah, that's the Friday Fenndango thing. See
cool.
what happens when Shelley's not around.
I know, and I can't.
My 70-year-old mind just doesn't work without her reminding me of everything. So thank you for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
And we do have some other things we're going to get into. But one of the reasons that I asked you to be here tonight, and you kind of volunteered, was to talk about Fenndango, which is coming up this week. So why don't you tell the folks all about it? While you're doing that, I'm going to do some other things here.
Okay, so I actually went to Hyde Park this afternoon. I actually spoke to the superintendent, and I spoke to the ranger who will be working the days of Fenndango. We went through all the logistics of everything, so it's going to be the Friday night hot dog roast at shelter number 3. Followed by the Saturday, the events pretty much are all day long on Saturday. That's at shelter number 2, followed by the Sunday morning pancake breakfast at shelter number 2 as well. So I'm sorry, but I can't remember the ranger's first name. But anyway, he remembered me from 2 years ago. I remembered him. He and I had worked a lot together back then. So he was real cool with everything. He just wanted me to remind everybody again, no glass bottles. We are allowed to have fires. We're allowed to have campfires, which is really good news. I will take firewood for both Thursday and Friday night. He said, just make sure those fires are out when we leave the shelters. The other thing he really dwelled on was make sure that we clean the shelters and the pavilions really, really well when we leave. But 2 years ago, there were a team of us, I always have volunteers that stay and help me do that. So that won't be a problem. I asked him if we were allowed to smoke weed, and he laughed and he said, only if you have a medicinal card. So that's not for me, but I just wanted to actually ask that. And for anybody that partakes of that, it'll be the same as other Fenndango's, go behind a tree. And there again, liquor, alcohol is allowed, but absolutely no glass containers unless I don't care if you open up your beer or your bottle of wine inside a camper or your car, but please do not carry bottles around that are glass. So anyway, I think that pretty much covers it. Jamie and Sasha have all the events pretty much under control for the Saturday event. So it should be a really good time.
And where can folks get more information?
More information, I believe Jamie and Sasha, one of them, they're keeping the flyer updated on Dale's blog, and I think Thor and David Rice has been updating the fenndango.org, not .com, website as well. So, and the other thing that I will make sure that happens, at least at my campsite, I will have the agenda with the day and the times and all the activities. I will actually have a giant poster of this posted at my site starting Thursday night. So anybody who, if you're not aware of the links to the different sites to get the info, if you just come by my site, I'm site number 47, I will definitely have the agenda there. So hopefully it'll go well.
I think it will. So thank you for joining us for tonight to
Yes.
bring that up. And
Thank
Cynthia
you.
is going to be with us the rest of the night. If you have questions for Cynthia, make sure you precede your question. She's not logged into the chat room, so make sure that you precede your question with an @ a Gypsy's Kiss so that she can see it in front of her, and that way later on when we start looking at questions, we'll be able to see that. All right. But first,
Housekeeping, you want towel?
because we got to have some towels. We appreciate it sometime before the night, at the end of the night, you like our video. YouTube likes it when you like our video. YouTube pays attention if you don't like it, but that's just not a good idea, is it? Share this with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, and the entirety of your social networks so that we can grow the channel. Oh, I missed that part when she did the growth.
What do I have to do?
Grow the channel.
And I'm to do something now?
So when I say so that we can
I'm sorry.
grow the
Grow.
channel.
Oh, I want everyone to see my bracelet.
Squirrel! Show them your bracelet. Shelley gave her a bracelet so that she wouldn't get lost in Hyde Park next week.
It lights.
Yeah. And then, of course, share this. I already said that. Share this with your family, friends, neighbors, business associates, and the entirety of your social networks so that we can grow the channel. And then if you're not already a subscriber, this would be an ideal time to subscribe. Click on that notifications bell so that way whenever we start a live stream or we schedule a live stream, you will be immediately informed and in the know. And then last but not least, I would like to mention that this is the last weekend for the survey. The survey will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday evening. As of last count, we had 325 folks that have completed the survey. I will be on the show on Wednesday at 1 p.m. with the survey summary, the survey results summary. And then directly after that, I will send it out to the folks that requested a copy. You will only get a copy of it if you actually included your email address at the end of the survey. Otherwise, email addresses are not required. No other contact information, no other identification information is required. It's completely anonymous. So as I said, we have about 325 responses, which makes for, I feel, like a relatively credible survey. And we'll announce those survey results next Wednesday. So before we get on to reading the other letters, I'd like to read this letter that's from Shelley Carney to everybody in the room. And she says, "Hello, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, the Gypsy's Kiss audience, for your kindness and generous support for me over the past 2 years. As Toby may have told you, I am stepping back a bit from doing 4 shows a week, so we were creating live for a Gypsy's Kiss. Of course, I will still be present once a week for Hump Day Hoedown. I need to take this time to build my own business, the softer side, and to dive more deeply into my personal coaching. I'm currently working with 2 online coaches and a local personal mentor, and I need to give my life coaching business more of my time and attention. Toby and I are also building a new YouTube channel, which has great potential for growth and sales. It's not a restoration, the customization of vintage toy vehicles. As we grow this new channel, we will add an Etsy store to sell our finished customized toy vehicles, as well as plastic fabricated parts that my husband, Kevin, will design and 3D print. If you miss me, you can easily find me on the softer side, live streaming on YouTube every Wednesday and Friday at 2:30 p.m. We'll be together on those shows. Toby and I will be having great conversations on a variety of personal development topics. I hope you join us at thesofterside.live. One more thing, I am so happy and grateful to Cynthia Meacham for her time and efforts to appear next to Toby on A Gypsy's Kiss this evening. I hope she can join him often for Friday Fenndango and share her stories and wisdom with everyone."
Thank you, Shelley.
What a wonderful gift it is to have a friend like Cynthia. I cannot thank her enough. I'll see you all again on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Best wishes on your searches and safe travels to everyone. So that's from Shelley. Thank you for that. All right, let's do some, we got to do the email video otherwise. Yeah. Ready?
I am ready.
You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
All right. So this one is Arrowhead Arch Blaze Projection. And I've got 2 emails from William Hadda, who took a great deal of interest in the topic that we were covering with Bill Ross on Wednesday about the potential for the Arrowhead Arch down in the Toltec Canyon being of great interest and had some potential. And I mentioned, wouldn't it be fun to figure out if the sun would eventually project through that arch and cast its way upstream or downstream, depending on where we thought Fenn was, and that would be the Blaze and the Wise Men, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks like, and I'm going to share the image with you in just a second, it looks like William actually did the calculation using the software that I recommended. He says, "Hi, Toby and Shelley. I have thought some more about the Arrowhead Arch Blaze projection." Ooh, it has a name now. Arrowhead Arch Blaze projection. "And want to share it with you and with you two and the search community. I feel that times near sunrise and sunset, I agree, may be the best for projecting a long distance because the sun is so low on the horizon, and it would also give the most contrast with the less scattered diffusion of light and surroundings." Very analytical. "For some reason, I still favor September 9th time of year date. That would be 9/9. Ooh, tricky. I found out that the sun sets almost exactly due west on that date, 277 degrees, at 7:19 p.m. And again, you can use this tool to do that and maybe project directly to the gorge around that time. I have attached an edited map to this email to show more clearly what I mean." And he signs it, Bill. And I've got that image up here, the first one that he sent. So that's the first one that he sent. And here's the Toltec Gorge. He's concluding or assuming a western sunset projecting at approximately 277 degrees. And here's what's nice. He set it for September 9th, 2019 at 7:19 p.m. At 7:19 p.m. at 277 degrees. So what that brought to mind is, could it have been possible, because the amount of difference would be negligible in the last 10 years because we're working on universal time here, right? So could it be that this all happened to Forrest Fenn on September 9th, 2009, 999, and that he was so excited about it that he brought someone that he cared about to share in that experience with him. So that's kind of where he went. Then William wrote, oh, you're not seeing any of that. Let me give you a screenshot. So
I can see it really
well.
well.
Yeah, you see it really
I'm
well,
seeing
right?
it really good.
So this is the screenshot that he sent me. And this is the western setting sun at 277 degrees on September 9th, 2019 at 7:19 p.m. And as you can see, that's the Rio de los Pinos there. And it makes that kind of big hook or U-turn. And then here's the gorge, and it shoots straight down the gorge. So is it possible? I like it. See, there's no fishing down here. There's not a lot of fishing. The fishing takes place up in this area. And what I like about it is that it would be a morning sunrise rather than a sunset. So then he sent a second one. He followed up with this one, and he said, "Hi, Toby and Shelley. Initially, I had no way of measuring the compass angle and pressed for time. So I just guesstimated 277 degrees. I have subsequently overlaid a compass on that map to be more accurate. Looks like I was pretty close at exactly 280 degrees. So the drawn sun ray is actually 3 degrees off from 277%, but close enough to illustrate my general theory." And that is the second picture he shared with us. So he added the compass rose on top of that to indicate what kind of time he was looking at. So I wanted to thank William for doing the additional research. I have now made a decision to go back to that area, if nothing else, to find out exactly where precisely the Arrowhead Arch is. It's marked. I can find it via GPS. I get a sense that I start from Osher Station and then walk down the equivalent of the tracks, and that's possible to do. And then do some calculations and see if it's at all possible, if any of this is at all possible. So we'll find out. It's a reason for me to go back. I can't say that I'm necessarily looking for the treasure in this case, but it's the first thing that has piqued enough of my interest to at least check it out. So I'm going to read this real quick because it was a short one. Yeah. Let me go back here. And this is the one from Jack. He called us today. I think he was from Pennsylvania. and he said he had a cognitive bias video. I've taken the link for that video and I've put it in our community blog or community page of the YouTube channel. Okay, so
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're up.
Am I allowed to say the guy's name?
You can say, yeah. I mean, once they send it to us,
if I can read this whole name.
you can read it.
Can I read the social security number and the bank account number?
You could.
I'll
but then
keep
we
them
get
for
them
me,
in. Okay,
right?
all right?
I'll keep them for me. Okay. My name is Howard Thomas Nelson, and I am 90 years old and live in British Columbia. That would be Canada, I'm sure. I've been sick for over a month and will never be able to travel. I have what I believe is the correct solution, but it will be lost when I die. I tried to make a deal with Cynthia. Yes, he did. But she is reluctant as she thinks she is on the right trail. Maybe. All I want from my solution is $25,000 and 4 or 5 of the smaller nuggets as souvenirs for my friends left behind. If my solution leads you to the chest, I will say this. If your solution doesn't tell you what 265 means or 10,200, then you are at the wrong place. I hope you will favor me with a positive response. Cynthia recommended that I get in touch with you. Can I give some background to this?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Mr. Tom Nelson he did correspond with me, and he did offer to share his solution with me if I would go try to find it at his spot. I do not want to search for anyone anymore, and it doesn't mean that I think your solution is wrong. It's just that I have mine, and I want to concentrate my time and my research on my space, my spot. And years ago, I did used to go search for other people. I haven't done that, I think, like since 2016, and I don't want to start it again. So anyway, I did recommend to Tom that he reach out to Toby. I said if your search spot is in New Mexico, you might be able to get Toby to go for you, or maybe there is someone out there that Toby can put in touch with Mr. Nelson, and they can figure this out together. What are you going to tell him? Are you going to do this?
Let me answer.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So,
Sorry.
Mr. Nelson, thank you very much for your letter. We get anywhere from 3 to 5 of these, actually, between shows. So it can go from 6 to 10 of these a week. And we have simply made a decision that that we're not going to look for the treasure for anyone else. We won't do that. We just don't have the time. We're generally working with people who are doing armchair solutions or theories and have no sense of what it's like to be boots on the ground. We know what it's like to be boots on the ground, and we know that armchair solutions or theories are likely not very credible. You've got to put some boots on the ground. So we've made it a I don't want to say a rule. We've made it a habit of continuing to say no to these kinds of offers, and we will continue to do that. But thanks again.
I have a quick question regarding this kind of a subject, though. Have you or do you ever take someone like that requesting to find help to search? Do you have any way that you can get him in touch with someone else that would be interested?
So what we generally, and I'll do it again, if you're interested, it sounds like Cynthia recommended that if he was searching in New Mexico that he contact me. If you'd like to work with this gentleman, send me an email, and I will forward that to Mr. Nelson, and you guys can start communicating with one another. He says he wants $25,000 for 4 or 5 of the smaller nuggets as souvenirs for my friends left behind if my solution leads to the chest. So if you're interested in working with Mr. Nelson, send me an email saying so, and I will forward that to Mr. Nelson.
That's perfect.
Your turn?
Is this the church
No,
one
it's
yet?
my turn. I'm saving the church one for you. Okay, this is entitled Fake Forrest Fenn, stanza 7 and 8. It's from Mike. It doesn't give the rest of his name. So he said, here's a little Friday fake poem fun, but the message is real. Real is all uppercase followed by 3 exclamation points. Possible additions to the poem, stanzas 7 and 8. I'll read it as if it were stanzas 7 and 8 in the poem. Searching in circles keeps me amused, so one final word while I still can. My poem is simple, so don't be confused. Here is a final clue to give you a hand. My name is Fenn, and the forest is still there. My words are straightforward. Don't twist them around. One final time, I just want to share. Keep twisting my words, and it will never be found. Ooh. Writing in Forrest's name. How cool is that?
So that's 2 additional stanzas to the poem. Then.
Yeah,
he added a 7 and an 8 to the very end of it.
We didn't know about it prior to tonight.
Oh my gosh!
So
you really want me to read this whole thing?
Well,
how many hours do we have?
We could have time.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Oh, so this was from. This is the gentleman who shared his video with us this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Okay.
It's kind of long. It's his solution, and while Cynthia is doing that, I'm going to show you his. He sent us a real cute picture of his family.
Okay.
So this is a picture of Forrest Kolb and his family, the guy that that had the video. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, all. I hope this email finds you well. Thank you for your commitment and generosity to supporting those on the hunt via each of your channels and profiles. I became aware of Fenn's poem just over 1 week ago. Wow. And it immediately dropped into my heart. Saving the romantic backstory for another times, perhaps it's best to cut to the chase. Here is my family picture with our blaze taken June 24th up Mosquito Creek Road in the wood of Wilson, Wyoming.
Is that where you're searching?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
After putting in below the historic Crescent H Ranch established by Edward Brown and his family in the 1920s. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know this. So I'm thinking this all is sinking into my brain because I'm Wyoming.
Before you do that, I will send you a link to the video that he made.
Okay, sure.
Because he does claim to have found the treasure. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to keep on going here.
Got it.
3 days of rereading the poem, listening to Fenn's interviews, and doing a bit of research, thanks to each of your amazing channels. We drove over 1,000 miles from Southern California to this precise spot in the Rocky Mountains. Logic had its place, but the clues and journey revealed themselves quite spontaneously from the heart. The thrill was indeed heightened, not only by our increased alertness for bears, that it does. That's my words, not his. Although us city folk did come prepared with bear spray, whistles, and a plan, but mostly by the vibrations of this unique place. Energetically, it reminded me of Cape Blvd, Renega in New Zealand, the leaping off place of spirits. The scent of life and death are beyond as one, windy, eerie, and scattered with most beautiful, blooming sage and pines. It sounds gorgeous. On the way up the mountain, we were taken aback when we passed a sign cautioning that this steep and rocky single-lane road, not for the faint of heart, is only open to vehicles between June 1st and November 30th, pending weather. Not only was this auspicious timing to come across the poem and be led to such a place, this seemed to be in alignment with the searcher who Fenn replied to mentioning wait until summer. In this solution, the blaze jumped out on Google Maps as a huge shiny rock. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Yes.
Okay. The blaze jumped out on Google Maps as a huge shiny rock, resembling the white strip down a horse's face.
Go ahead.
And it was even more impressive in person.
I'm just going to go back to
That's what's in my picture, yes?
Yeah.
Mosquito Creek rushes abundantly down the mountain, littered with large rocks and fallen trees, heavy loads. It was definitely a plus to be tired with an SUV crawling upwards for about 30 minutes over uneven dirt, rock, and puddles, although I'm sure a sedan could make it too. Relative to the blaze, when we searched directly downhill, about 125 feet, towards the rushing creek, could it have been a coincidence that an empty oil drum, his tarry scant, was chained
he read it
to a tree?
So in
Tarry.
He
Tarry
read it as Tarry scant.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is cool. So his oil drum, tarry scant, was chained to a tree within 10 feet of the creek. Was it a mere coincidence that a 10-foot by 5-foot cutout was made on the vessel to stash the treasure box? See image below. Do you have one of those?
I didn't. I wonder if I can get to it from here. I don't think I can. So, no, I didn't.
Okay.
But you can't see it. That's his Google Earth shot of that big rock.
Definitely an 80-year-old man could idle, park his car on the road, and walk down the hill. Having said that, from down below near the creek, one can neither see the road above nor hear an approaching car. As my family stayed put in the car, I learned that only one car and several dirt bikes passed us throughout 2.5 days 2 half days parked on the road. Perhaps Fenn's double meaning of tarry scant refers to not lingering down below in case a car above needed to pass. And doesn't the vessel remind you of Fenn's story of his time in Vietnam when his master sergeant emptied a drum to make a barbecue? So, do you have any of these pictures to show?
I haven't. Well, here's what I can do. Let me do this.
I'm going to continue with
Go
this.
ahead.
It seemed like both the vessel and the trees it was chained to suffered a fire and potentially moved from its original location. I was able to move the trees and eventually the oil drum from its half-buried position and found nothing inside. What a bummer.
So
The staples are over the words. He found nothing inside except a burnt plastic bag and some animal bones. Yikes. It looked as if the bottom of the vessel became dilapidated by a fire, natural or otherwise, and or the elements. See link below to video.
Okay.
But no sign of the box, neither in, around, nearby, below, discoverable within the vicinity of the blaze. Could someone have found it sitting on the ground after a lightning or fire ripped the vessel open? If this is indeed the location of the blaze and the oil drum with a 5 by 10 foot cutout was just a fluke of coincidence, then it is possible that the treasure could be buried beneath the muddy, tarry strip of Minnie Creek within 20 feet from the blaze going eastward back down the road. I just didn't have the heart to begin tearing up the forest in such a special place. Thank goodness. That's my words. Especially after coming across the empty oil drum chained in position, clearly by a human being. That's really creepy. If that was New Mexico, it would be a body.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Happy to answer any specific questions you have and or provide additional images and video. I have written to Forrest already, mostly looking forward to hearing any feedback you might have. Then he says, here are a couple videos from the location.
Which we played this afternoon.
Okay.
So let's assume that Forrest got a very similar letter.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
if you look at this, he addresses it to a Gypsy's Kiss, Treasure, Cow Lasers, K-Pro, Lou, Fenn Treasure Hunter, and Shannon Utz.
Okay.
So he sent it to a lot of people.
Yes.
And then sent it to Forrest.
Yeah.
You knowing Forrest as well as you do, what do you think Forrest's response to that letter would be?
He wouldn't read it. It's too long.
Yeah.
He would likely delete this immediately. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, so yeah, Mount Jam, I agree with you. I think it was the next barbecue thing. So let me show you the other images. So this is the Google Earth shot. There's his blaze. That's what he saw. There's Mosquito Creek, and he was right down from that. They were parked on this road. And I don't know whether you saw in the video, but he kind of had his wife kind of sitting up as a lookout for additional traffic. And here's the tarry scant barrel.
Gosh, that's creepy.
And he dug that out. It was chained to a tree, and it looks like the tree has been burned, right? So he thought maybe it was I think it was chained to a tree because to me it looks like one of those barrels that somebody turned into a barbecue.
Yeah, it does.
And then didn't want to lose it, so they changed it to the tree. Then somebody tried to burn the tree to steal the barrel. That's how that usually works out. So those are the additional photos he sent us. He was very kind, and he's got a beautiful family. It looks like they had a lot of fun.
Yep. I think that was perfect analysis of what he wrote and the pictures.
And the pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. These.
What's going on here?
Oh, I just was looking at data.
Oh.
That's you
okay.
there.
Thank you.
All right. So this one, the subject line is, "Hey guys, do you know the answer to this question?" It is from one of the members in our room, Jingo Bingo. And his email address is Jakey most stuffy. Okay. All right. Oh, he mentions your name.
Oh my God. This is the one I'm going to freak out over.
So he says, I believe it was Cynthia who once said, quote, Fenn donates regularly to a church, unquote, but didn't say any more. Right? He doesn't do it anymore. I'm assuming that it is in New Mexico. Do you know what church or denomination it is? I read he was raised a Baptist. Thanks, Jingo Bingo. What are your
thoughts? I never ever said that Forrest donated to anything, let alone a church. I don't know if he does or not. What else did he say I said?
He said,
I never.
well, no.
I know I
What
might
he
have said
said,
things that could be controversial, but I know I never said that Forrest donated to a church.
He said, you said that he donates regularly to church, but you didn't say which one.
Well,
since you didn't make the statement to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe whatever his church in the mountains. What's the quote or the sentence? The line in the book?
My church is in the river bottoms.
My church is in the mountains and along the river bottoms where fantasies and blah, blah go to play or whatever. To play. Yes, okay. So, yes, I guess he donated a treasure chest full of gold to the church in the mountains.
Yeah, he's not, he doesn't practice, he's not religious. He claims to be spiritual. And some people make that distinction by saying they don't do the whole religion thing, but they're good, moral people.
Forrest, I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, I promise you I never said that about you. just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case he's watching and
you
hears
are
this.
watching a Gypsy's Kiss. This one, here, go ahead, because I have some pictures while you're doing that.
This is from Wayne Ross.
So Wayne,
was I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
his name?
yeah. And Wayne was the guy that brought up the subject that introduced us to the Arrowhead Arch in the Toltec Gorge. So this is some follow-up.
Okay. Hey, Toby and Shelley. I am prepared to come to New Mexico in the next few days if you want to make a trip to Los Pinos. Below is the actual location of the arch based on the GPS coordinates. Do you actually have those somewhere?
I don't have I have the picture. I'm going to share the picture while you're reading it.
Okay. Anyway. Problems with this location are, it is a fairly long hike to it, even if you walk the train tracks to get there. Bicycle or horse ? It looks like it is in a fairly dangerous location near the edge of the gorge. Be safe. I do not think Forrest would want people out on that point looking. Too much potential for an accident. I trust and believe the intent behind everything Forrest says. I have always thought that when you found the blaze, the chest would be there. Maybe not. Even if this arch is the blaze, I am sure we will find the chest at the arch because it is a dangerous spot. Maybe when you have seen the blaze is when you have to look quickly down. While it is a fun idea to imagine the light, sun or moonlight shining through the arch and illuminating the hiding spot, I don't think the physics work for that too well. I do think line of sight might be important. I can imagine being in the gorge and rounding a corner when you look up and see the arch blaze, but even this notion has problems. I'm not sure about this. Everything's a problem, but I'll keep going.
Keep going.
This arch is only 5 feet tall, according to the arch website, so that is not amazing to sight if you are even close as 1,000 feet. Still, I think it is important to at least consider the arch as having a role in the solution if the chest is in the Toltec Gorge. I agree. See how hard I am trying to make my confirmation bias work. I agree. Call me. You'll never let me back on the show because I'm going to either agree or disagree with everything I read here. Yeah. Call me if you want to go out there this week. I could get to Albuquerque by Saturday or Sunday, depending on your schedule and availability to go. This might work if you want to go look at the area this weekend or on Monday or Tuesday before your show's on Wednesday. I wanted to bring this up on your show anyway this week, so Fenndango attendees, thank you, could go look for the treasure while they were in New Mexico. I still think finding the chest will be very challenging, so I did not think I was giving all the details away, but I would welcome the opportunity to go out with you. I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, so we could go in my car if you want. And then there's the picture, which you are going to show.
So I already did. So that's the picture. That's what he's talking about. This is the railroad track. So he says that it's at that location, 36 degrees, 59 minutes, and north, and 106 degrees, 18 minutes west. So this right here is the railroad track. And that's the tunnel. That's the William G. Harding tunnel right there.
Yeah.
So it's right below the tunnel. That's the rock outcrop. Somebody said it was only 5 feet above the water. The water, you can't even see the water. The water's in the shade. Yeah. So it's higher than that. But I don't think that's the blaze. I don't think that's the location of the blaze.
Is that the arch, though, where it's pinned?
Yeah, that's where the arch is. So my hypothesis, the one that I talked about last week, is see that? That's a forest road.
Yeah.
I've been on that forest road,
and
it goes down and around here. So you could take that forest road to here, and I don't want to use that. I just want to see it in context and get it. I don't think that's the blaze.
Yeah.
I think the blaze is the sun passing through the window of that arrowhead arch.
Right.
But I would like to have a photograph. I'd like to
Sure.
go check it out to see it and have a photograph. I'm 70 and I'm not going to rappel down the side of a cliff face to see it, but I'd like to maybe hike this area up here and see if I can get a shot from there. Somebody obviously got a shot, right? So you can get a shot from it, but I'm wondering whether or not a rising sun from the east would cast a ray of light in this direction, or a setting sun from the west would cast a ray of light in this direction.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I will rappel with you. I'll hold the rope.
You want to? Only if you do it.
I'm going to hold the rope while you rappel.
Only if we do it in chaps.
For sure.
So I don't know if you saw the show the other day. My theory is, imagine Fenn fishing one early morning on the Rio de los Pinos. Yep. And all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning when there's still good fishing around. The sun has risen and it's going up, and suddenly the rising sun casts its light through that arrowhead-shaped arch. Yes. And in Fenn's direction, he may not be looking at it, but suddenly he sees it on one of the rocks that's on the side of the river, and he thinks to himself, my arrowhead.
I totally love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the blaze, the casting light blaze. It's temporary, so you have to be there at a certain time and date. And although it migrates, the concept is sound. And then lastly, he mentioned the wise men, right? Have you been wise? What is it the wise men followed?
The star.
Right.
It's a star, right?
And what is the sun?
A star. Sure. No, I like it a lot. I mean, I'm not so sure about the danger factor because I've taken the train, but I have not hiked this area. Yeah. So from my view right now, this looks very dangerous and not likely for when Fenn said it's not in a dangerous spot, you can take your kids. I'm not quite sure about that. Well, but you know the area, so you know if you could or not.
What I want to point out is I don't need to be there.
Yes,
I don't need to be that pin. I don't need to
Yes.
I just need to know that sunlight goes through it and up this
I agree.
Up this river, which is flat, and I mean I've been on it several times now. So
sounds like a winner.
Yeah, I think so. A little confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is from James Collier. Didn't I just read this?
No.
Oh, okay. James Collier, and it's entitled Fenn's Treasure. Shelley Carney and Toby Younis. I am pretty new to this chase, and I just recently read The Thrill of the Chase 5 times. I watched numerous videos you have on your YouTube channel, as well as countless blogs from other people. There are way too many to read with not enough time in a day to catch up, not unless you want to lose your job. So please forgive me if this has been talked about. Here's my take on the clues. There were a couple that stood out to me that numerous people have mentioned. The main one, do not touch, being the only words in a vibrant red. I also noticed the multiple mentions of the color green. Helicopter was discussed a lot, his brother as well as Vietnam. Another thing which I thought was interesting was how Fenn talked about the kids touching the statue to feel it was cold, which led me to this conclusion. Touch Me Not Mountain, do not touch, and Green Mountain meet in Angel Fire, New Mexico. Actually, they're north of Angel Fire, New Mexico. At the base of those mountains is Eagle Nest Lake. That's Eagle Nest Lake, which was created by the Eagle Nest Dam. The dam is not where warm waters halt, but the lake is. Ironically, the Cimarron River that flows down Angel Fire, I don't know where this thing with Angel Fire, translates to wild and untamed. That's what Cimarron is.
That's correct.
As an adjective, would be no place for the meek, since the definition is tamed or timid. Put in below the home of brown. I saw you were comparing brown to painting and color. Spanish transformation when referring to the color is moreno. For example, tiene el pelo color moreno y ojos verdes. She has brown hair and green eyes. The valley that runs there is called the Moreno Valley. Yeah, we've talked about this. Put in below the home of brown. Let's see. Begin at where warm waters halt. Beginning of Eagle Lake at the base of Touch Me Not and Green Mountain. Also, Eagle Nest Lake is an alpine lake due to elevation. Often, alpine lakes are colder because of this and are typically surrounded by varieties, I'm sure he meant, of pines. Take it in the canyon down. Eagle Nest Lake begins at the base of Cimarron Canyon, not far but too far to walk. Y'all, as well as others, have stated too far to walk could be 10 miles. The distance from the beginning point to my end point is exactly 10 miles. I've attached a picture. I don't see it, but I didn't post it. Put in below the Homer Brown. I believe he's just stating that's where he put it. Put in below the Moreno Valley. Brown trout are there. Moreno and eagles are brown in color. From there, it's no place for the meek. Translation of Cimarron, as stated above. The end is drawing nigh. You're close to the end. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water's high. Ooh, I want to read this because I haven't figured that one out. Brings me back to the helicopter usage in the book. Huey helicopters are used to transport heavy loads of water high up into the mountains to put out blazes. If you've been wise and found the blaze, I have not been to the Vietnam Memorial, so I can't solve this portion. I just know through Google Earth that if you stand in a certain spot at the memorial, the image is eerily similar to the ones in the book. Attach those below. The Doug Scott statue is there. The one with the soldier riding home, holding on a tablet like the one in the book. What are your thoughts on this? James, the only problem I have with it is you seem to have gone around in a bunch of circles. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial is not in Angel Fire. Angel Fire is actually...
It's close to Angel Fire.
Well, it is, but Angel Fire is south and east of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Eagles Nest Lake is north and east of that, and Cimarron Canyon is just a little bit further. And you are right that Eagles Nest dumps into the Cimarron at the bottom of Eagles Nest Dam, and then there's a stretch of private property that we have no access to, and then it runs into Cimarron Canyon and goes through Cimarron Canyon all the way to Ute Park, et cetera, et cetera. So the bouncing around part. And I think using Green Mountain, Touch Me Not Mountain is a stretch because the Cimarron is not really at their base. They're actually peaks in a chain of peaks that run east to west in there.
Wait, I want to comment on this.
Okay.
This is very popular stuff from ever since 2010. Heavily searched everything here.
Yeah.
Nothing new for me. I've heard it all. Now, what I do want to talk to, who wrote this? What's the guy's name?
Let's see.
James. You actually do have something really good in your picture that I used. So you have a picture of a Huey helicopter sitting at the Vietnam War Memorial that is there. They actually, I think they give it an Angel Fire address. It's not actually in the town, it's out. Yeah. But anyway, been there many times. Also used it in my solutions years and years ago. What there is a Huey helicopter there, and it is also known as a slick. I can't remember if it was Jenny's words. I think there was something on Jenny's site where Fenn talked about a slick. No, the slicks, the little stone things that he put in his pockets.
Yeah.
So, and there's also, back to this, the actual memorial itself. When they first built it, the chapel part of it, I believe, was called the Peace Chapel or the Chapel of Peace or whatever. So I actually used this as one of my solutions years and years ago. And I think this he's got a good brain because he thinks like me. Anyway, but...
so let me see if
I think a lot of this is pretty good.
Is that it? No, that's not. That's no. No.
Oh, I saw that over there. Anyway, James, I think you hit on a lot of correct things. Like I said, none of this is new to me. This area and these clues have been used multiple times, but I actually think it's a good process that you put together.
So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to show you some screenshots of some imagery from the Veterans Memorial. That's an English soldier, and if I recall correctly, this is to whom
yes, that's the son.
That's the son, and his photograph and some of the mementos from his time in the service are in the Chapel of Peace, that's right. Pinnacle. What I was trying to find is the.
It looks like a sail. I believe it was intended to look like a sail.
Oh, I know where we have those.
Right there. That's the Huey there, isn't it?
No, I've got better pictures of that. Hang on, Sloopy. Oh, whoops, we're in my, let's see. Cimarron. Okay, so this is Gypsy Kiss blog, and Shelley and I did go up there, and this is from below. That's where that's kind of at the gate to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. That's the Huey helicopter right there, and then behind it, so that's a front image of the Huey, and another image that's Shelley overlooking the Chapel of Peace. So. And that's if you look in that direction, you're actually looking towards Angel Fire. And then we went into that's at the Cimarron Canyon. So if you do get to New Mexico and you get up in the area towards it's on the Enchanted Circle, Route 64, and you do get up in that area, make sure you take the time to stop and take a look at the Vietnam Memorial, because it was built by this man in honor of his son, and then the state took over responsibility for it. It's a beautiful memorial. As a matter of fact, I'm going to head back up there this summer to get a drone shot. They gave me permission to get a drone shot of it if I shared the image with them. So we're going to go back up there and do that. Okay, so you like that area, huh? You did some searching.
Not anymore. I did it one time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a good first solution for everybody, because there's a lot of things that fit. So this is from Tom Gregory. Do you know Tom?
Yes, I do. Hi, Tom.
He says, AGK, Toby, Shelley, your Rio de los Pinos special was very well done. Kudos, but there is a lot more than you know about my original solve, some of it, the gentleman who called in at the end, he mentioned me. I am Tom Terrific, a.k.a. Tom Gregory. I wrote the Winter Thoughts on Dale Neisel's site, which has over 1 million hits according to Dale and has a cult following. I also did the video on YouTube called Toltec Northern New Mexico Treasure at 3,000 views now. And climbing, it was shot from the Colorado-New Mexico border at the brass marker, which is at 10,100 feet precisely at the coordinates for Leadville, Colorado, where a famous brown person lived, at 106.3141. Those last four digits look familiar. It's because Forrest Fenn old home address was 1413 North Main, as in degrees longitude and 37 degrees north latitude. The marker can be seen on Dale's site if you type my name in. Markers also show the date and the settlement of the Colorado-New Mexico dispute, where the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that just after the Civil War, the exact boundary location was, and it has the number 180 stamped on it. What is 90 plus 90? I crashed a drone trying to film the train emerging from a mile away, so I only used one camera for the entire shoot. There's also one very big thing I forgot to mention. That is bigger than the Arrowhead Arch 354, and it is huge. Toby, I think it will make you think, why didn't I think of that? And you went to St. Mike's. You, of all searchers, should have seen this. Apparently it has something to do with the Christian Brothers.
There you go.
Okay, that's it for emails.
Go.
Let's take a few minutes to say hi, folks, hi to folks in the room, and see if there's any questions for Cynthia. So we're going to scroll back.
Oh, there are. It's funny.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Oh, I saw some.
All right, let's go back. So I can go back as far as Shelley. You've heard Shelley and I have this conversation. I can go back to 720. Board is in the room. We like to call him George, and I know that George, I think he was talking about going on a second recon out here in New Mexico. Christine Kenzie is in the room. Minotaur Moreno, Journeyman, Mr. T says somebody is wrong. I don't know who he's talking about. Rebecca Peterson, I give my solves for nothing. Thank you. What a kind thing to do. Juno Hewitis, as it does is all Ord Hewley is in the room. One of our moderators. I'd like to thank our moderators for being in the room tonight, including Hewley, Mitzi, Toby Fan 3000, and Eric Schmidt. I haven't seen, what's his name? I forgot his name now. That's what. See what happens, old man. Yeah, I don't see you. I forget your name. How's that? Deborah Jensen says, "A Gypsy's Kiss. Do you know if the poem first surfaced before the thrill of the chase?" Hi, Toby and Cynthia. I got a fever. She's got a fever.
I got a fever.
You know what she's got a fever about?
No, I don't. If it's
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
So, do you know if the poems first surfaced before the thrill of the chase? I'm asking you.
I know. So the book actually came out. There was a book signing like in September or October of 2013.
And then,
I'm sorry, 2010. I don't know if the poem was first on Forrest's website, the old Santa Fe Trading Company, or not. I actually honestly cannot say.
There was.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that you cannot say. It's
Yeah,
that
I
you
don't know.
Yeah.
If I knew, I would say.
Right. Rebecca Peterson says she will never go to it. Wayne Ross is in the room. Hi, Wayne. That's the gentleman that helps us. Helped us. He identified the Arrowhead Arch. Number 354.
Okay.
I think he sent me an email or a text, something. Maybe it's in here about getting in touch with Doug Scott. Wayne, Vicky McMillan's in the room. Jack. Hey, Jack. Wayne Raw, Journeyman. Chris, let's see. Key Muncaster. So she says we have, we have been there, and the arrowhead is not an arrowhead in a rock. It is a perception of two rocks that form what looks like an arrowhead standing from a distance. That's right. And Wayne said that it's actually a rock that's the result of one rock leaning on two others on the shelf, and then on a rock below it that gives the perception of an arrowhead.
I don't care. I'd use it. If it was my area, it's
not actually a arrowhead shape carved into a rock. Right. Evan Penn is in the room. Minotaur Moreno, we already said. Charles Chapman. Hi, welcome back, Charles. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. Another Fenn searcher retracted his message. I'll have to go back to over here to see what he said. Tony Russo's in the room. Hi, Hooli. Did I say that already?
Yep.
Let me see. Karen Warner, who's the better half of Toby Fan 3000.
Yep.
Hi, Karen. How are you doing? They live in New York. William.
Wait. There's William.
Yeah. What? Do you not like William? I can.
No, I like William.
Do you want me to throw him out of the room?
No, he met me.
Oh, okay. So William, he says, the Gypsy's Kiss. I met Cynthia at the function and in the junction with my son and had a blast. Please tell her I said hi, and it was a pleasure to meet her.
I am assuming that is William Ortiz. Am I allowed to say his name? There was a William with a son. And I had a blast.
I didn't know.
I didn't
know
William.
He was Ortiz. I thought William was the one that lives in Florida. Where does he live?
I have no idea.
Okay. Because he was on Christie's show one night, and I had the sense he was in Florida.
Maybe it's a different William.
Yeah.
I know I met a William,
met him.
He had a son, and I had a blast.
Guy. And he's telling you he had a blast, too.
I did.
Homer Brown I like because he's named after a place in Colorado. Homer Brown.
Ernest Hemingway.
Let's see. If you want to know if you can trust someone, just trust them. Oh, that's
you know what? When I was in Cody, I actually found Ernest Hemingway's summer home along the Clark's Fork of the Yellowstone River, where he spent his summers and wrote.
Did everybody live up
there? He didn't actually live there. He was just there a few summers. I have a video. I have not produced it yet. It will be a blog article.
Do you know how Forrest? Do you know how Ernest Hemingway wrote his books?
Probably with a bottle in one hand and a pen in the other.
Actually, not. Here's what he did. He had a portable typewriter. Mm-hmm. He would get up in the morning, shower and shave, and he would write 400 words.
Oh, wow.
And then he could go about the rest of his day. He said he never wrote drunk.
Huh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd get up, he'd write he felt like he'd write 400 good words, and he would do the rest of the day whatever he wanted to, and including getting blasted on
That's
daiquiris
probably
at
good
the end
advice.
Of the night. Yeah. If you can get 400 words a day out, you can be Ernest Hemingway.
Okay.
Brian Eagle's in the room. Brian is from Austin, Texas. West Guy TAS. She says, hi, Cynthia, you need some Jesus, girl.
I need some what?
Jesus. You need to find some Jesus, I guess. You run out of Jesus?
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Sounds like religious to me. Fenn
know what
Gets
that
Mail
means.
22 has been published on Dale's site. Vicky McMillan, Hickory Hollers in the room. Charlie, let's see, Jack, Key, past. So Key says we have been there many times in the past summers. So,
At the arrowhead that's not an arrowhead.
Deborah Jensen, a Gypsy Kiss. Anybody ever mentioned the gold spadefoot toad happens to be the New Mexico State amphibian symbol? I don't recall anybody ever mentioning that, but maybe that's why Fenn found them so intriguing enough, certainly, to put on his bronze jars and bells that he hid in the mountains north of Santa Fe. Let's see. Illinois Ghost is in the room. Jingo Bingo was the one that claimed that you had said that.
And he apologized that it was not me.
All right, okay.
Later on, he apologized. He just remembered someone said it, and he thought it might have been me.
Aaron Hurley, he says, I'd sure like to know what he's talking about, but he says, poor kids. Mia P. Baller. By the way, does anybody know how the U.S. fared against France this afternoon?
We won 2-1.
Oh, we did? Mm-hmm. Great. That was going to be a challenge because they're the home country
Yep.
team, and that is going to make those French people really mad. So, well, good. Yeah, I couldn't see it because I was in the middle of the show. I'm a big fan of women's soccer, so we've got a great women's team. We've always had a great women's team. Steve Wayne, Destiny spending too much lonely. Oh, okay, so not addressing that to anybody in particular. Man in the Park is in the room. Sturmworm always has something to say. Sakar is in the room. Look at that, everybody, a whole bunch of people. Mount Jam, 1971. A Gypsy's Kiss. It was a barbecue grill. Yikes. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, Mount Jam. Let's see. I didn't see any word. Tom Sawyer's in the room. Sassy. Do you know Sassy?
Yes.
Sassy
Yes.
Sherry?
Yep.
She's in the room.
Yep.
Eleanor goes. Selroy. Vicky McMillan. Steve Wayne. Let's see. Do you see anybody else that we haven't said hi to?
Oh, I don't know.
Bingo Jingo. Tamara Lamb. Hello, Forrest. Oh, wouldn't that be fun if Forrest was in the room? Oh, ta-da. I didn't see that.
Cool. You got it. See, I'm failing.
Why?
I'm failing as Shelley's replacement.
Oh, no.
Shelley would have caught that right away.
So this is from William.
Yes, it is, William.
He says, I met Cynthia at the function with my son. I couldn't say enough how much she is a beautiful person inside and out. FYI, my son wants to marry her. No, my son and Lito. Who's Lito?
Oh, my
son
God.
and Lito has a photo of Cynthia in the parking lot. P.S. My son says, you're awesome.
They
thank
were
you for
fun.
that.
If
Thank
it's,
you.
I only remember one William with a son. So,
okay.
and they were fun.
I do want to share these two. So, Shelley and I told you that Cynthia and Shelley and I met. So these were the folks that we met yesterday at the McDonald's in Bernalillo. And this is Brian Ulrich. This is his wife, Gina. This is his daughter, Samantha. And, of course, Cynthia and Shelley. And Samantha has her own YouTube channel, and it's the cutest little channel. I'll put the name in the... I forgot the name right now. It's Samantha Blogs or something like that. But she tells stories using Barbie dolls.
Oh my God.
And she does all the action, all the thing, and it's really cute. She has 5,000 plus. She has more subscribers than we do, for God's sakes. But they're just fun. She's the one that Brian has made 6 trips out to New Mexico from New Jersey, and she's come with him every time. And that's in the past year. She's come with him every time for a total of 21 days of travel, and she still honors at the school that she attends. And she's just like one of those 14-year-olds. I kept wondering. I told Shelley when we were leaving, I kept wondering when she was going to take out her phone, because that's what 14-year-olds do. There's nothing more important than what happens. She never took out her phone. She was involved in the conversation and holding up her end of the entire conversation. I think I have one more photo with Shelley. Oops, nope, that's the searcher survey. Yeah, so there's me, Shelley, and Samantha. The 3 YouTubers, the tubers. Okay, so that was fun with Brian. So Brian, if you get to see this, let Gina and Samantha know. It was really grand meeting them where we did. And then I don't have it here because he just sent it. Brian was in Roswell. They were at the museum, the Alien Museum, and he saw a license plate that had AGK. It was one of the New Mexico chili license plates, and it had AGK on it. And he sent me a picture. Oh, Wayne says, I talked to Doug Ross today. Maybe we can talk about that later. Yeah, call in, Wayne. So Doug Ross is a...
Scott.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Doug Scott is a photographer and an artist, but he has a web page, and he's documented all the... I just missed one of the...
chats.
Yeah, I just missed a super chat. Who was that?
Yeah. Did you do the $5 one?
So, Drawing Nigh, $5. Want to ask Cynthia about the trespassing video. What trespassing?
Sure.
Tell us about the trespassing video.
Where I was shot at by our high-powered rifle. So, yes, despite Forrest telling me a couple weeks ago, do not trespass on private ranch land when I'm in Montana or Wyoming, because he was basically saying a lot of those people up there are the freedom... I can't remember the group that they belong to, but it's the Freedom Organization where they think they don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, sovereign citizens?
That's something like that.
Sovereign
something
citizens,
like that. Anyway, the kind of people that believe they don't have to pay taxes for said everybody up there has a gun, which is, it's like most of the Rocky Mountains. I'm sure most ranchers have a gun. Anyway, I just thought I would crawl over this fence, hike across the pasture that had no cattle on it, nothing. There, I could see no structures at the creek line behind the trees. So I thought, what would it hurt for me to crawl across the fence, hike through the pasture down to the creek? I just wanted to see what was on the other side. It was real near my Omega water crossing, and I had just walked probably 25 yards when I heard a loud crack. Now, this is on my blog, so that's how they know.
Yeah.
I thought for a second, I thought it might be thunder, looked up in the sky, no thunderstorms above. About that time, I heard a second rifle crack, and it's like, oh, I believe that's coming from a high-powered rifle. I immediately turned around, scampered back to the fence, crawled over and back in my truck, and went to check out a camper that was near my Omega camping there. I didn't know if they were poachers or just practicing shooting. There was a total of 6 shots, so whatever. I don't know. They obviously were not shooting at me, or they were horrible shots if they were. I never heard anything whizzing by. I never saw anything a bullet hit anywhere. So either they were just trying to scare me away, or they didn't even know I was there. It was just coincidence. But boy, I'll tell you what, that was some coincidence if that's what it was. So anyway, never again. Learned my lesson. Never again will I cross someone else's land.
You can hear a round flying by because it flies at supersonic speeds and it makes a crack as it goes by because it's breaking the sound barrier.
So maybe then, because I could hear the crack, you're saying it was
no. So there's the rifle shot,
right.
And then as the bullet whizzes by, you can hear kind of the air disturb. And because it's traveling faster than the speed of sound, it breaks the sound barrier right over you. And
I understand. There was nothing like that. So they were not shooting at me. They might have been shooting to get me out of there, but
they were shooting
so
to you.
That was another one of my public service announcements. Stay off private ranchers' land.
Off property. Oh, dang nabbit. So I scrolled it down to see something, and I lost some of our... hang on. Let me see. Wayne Ross. We already said hi. Or Aaron Hurley. We said hi. DB Cooper is in the room. He's here because he spent all his money. He wants more money because he's looking for the treasure. Let's see. The Sassy 1962. This was the best solution I have heard you get excited about. Is that I think that's the Arrowhead.
Yeah, okay.
Solution.
Sure.
Okay. Gypsy Kiss, Wayne Ross. Doug said you have to rope off to get to it. I do. Yeah, I agree. But I don't think it's necessary to do that. I do not think that's the blaze. I think it is the what do they call, not template. It's the shape in the rock that's important. It's not the rock. It's the sun passing through that rock and going either upstream or downstream, depending on whether it's setting or rising sun. That's important to me. I don't have to see the arrowhead thing necessarily. I just need to know it's there, and then I need to do that analysis that I was talking about with photo pills to determine what the sun does at any given point in time, considering where its location is. And I can do that now that you've given me the geographic coordinates. Let's see. William Hotta says, can you fly your drone in the area to check out if the arrowhead arch? Yes, because
That's
it's
a good
in.
idea. That's good.
That's probably the best approach.
Yeah.
The answer is yes, because it's depending. It's. I'd have to see whether it was on the New Mexico side or Colorado. I'm guessing it's on the New Mexico side. But in either case, on the New Mexico side, you're in the Colorado. I'm sorry. You're in the Carson National Forest. In the Colorado, you're on the Rio Grande National Forest. Now you have to be careful up there because take your BLM map because there's private properties up there. And there are roads that are private to those properties, right? So you have to be very cautious about that. But yes, if it's in the Toltec Gorge, that means that it's in one of those forests and you can fly a drone in the National Forest. Let's see, Jam, Boxhound. I haven't seen that name first. So, retracted but not redacted. Yeah, I can see all the retracted comments because I use Restream.io. That's how we see the folks on Facebook. Let's see. Sassy says, gee, didn't I do a whole hour on this in the Fennathon? I don't know, Sassy. I didn't get to watch it because I was having the operation. Drawing Nigh, Gypsy's Kiss. Is any of this coming from the poem? Yeah, Drawing Nigh, it is. Because it is, it's not just from the place, it's a special place. It's a blaze. And if we've been wise and found the blaze, yeah. So there is a lot of it coming from the poem. It's the last part of the poem, right? The last part that leads you to. So imagine this. Ray of sunlight casts its way through the arrowhead arch onto the Rio de los Pinos, someplace along the waters of the Rio de los Pinos. And there's a little rock outcrop there. Special place, hide a treasure, show his friends, take somebody there that's no longer alive. Yeah, straight from the poem. I'm not making this stuff
Did
up.
you say hello to Alan Kay?
I
earlier?
didn't because he was early in the room, but you can say hello
sure.
to Alan Kay.
Hi, Alan.
Thank you for doing that.
Alan and I, we exchange emails every now and then.
Oh.
So, we know each other.
He's from California. He
Yes,
helped
he
me
is.
he helped me get my Norton subscription renewed.
Okay.
That was very
I was
kind of him. Thank
hoping
you for
that Alan could make it to the function, but he was not able.
Let's see. Tony Russi says, Gypsy's Kiss, Cynthia, what exactly did Forrest Fenn say to you about Homa Brown and Nez Perce Creek that turned you off to it?
No comment.
No comment. Sorry, doesn't get there. Sassy, a Gypsy's Kiss. He watched my hour with Susie on the Fennathon where we covered all of this. Who is he, Sassy?
Wait.
What?
Wait, there's... Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I was just reading the Tim Walker one.
Tim Walker says, my dad donated his brother's artifacts from Vietnam to the Angel Firearm Memorial. That's really kind.
Good. That's awesome.
Tom Sawyer says, the Gypsy's Kiss, Cynthia, there is a rumor Forrest Fenn told you that the Homa Brown doesn't have anything to do with trout.
No comment.
No comment. Rumor still exists. It's a good rumor.
Oh, that's a good one from Wayne Ross.
What does he say?
Are pets welcome at Fenndango? Yes, dogs are certainly allowed to be there. They are supposed to be on leashes the entire time. So I don't know about any other kind of pets, but it needs to be on a leash, I think. So if you're going to have your iguana there walking it, I guess have it on a leash.
So Aaron Herlihy, that is not a fact. The Vietnam Memorial is not an Angel Fire. It's on the mountain, literally on the other side of the valley. It has an Angel Fire address because that's a post office box that they use. But it is not an Angel Fire. Angel Fire is literally the 10 mile, not 10, but probably 6 miles away across the valley. So that's the fact. You'll have to be there you'd actually have to be there to know that. So don't feel bad. Gypsy's Kiss, whoa, better give this guy a Forrest Fenn equivalent of a huge award. I think that was our, Jason Northface says, hi, Cynthia, you're looking good.
Hello, Jason. Jason and I met at the Denver event back in February. Nice guy.
Let's see. I think that's it. Let's see. Hatchet Jack's in the room, says good evening. Jack, I pity number 3. I don't know which one that number 3 was. Hey, Steve Wayne, how are you doing this evening? Are there margaritas today? She has to drive, so we don't feed her margaritas. When she
I
has to
already
drive.
had several in Santa
Right.
Fe earlier today.
She was actually late for today's show. Did I actually show them this picture?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to do this again. Because
I know.
don't
I've looked at it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, it's out front there. So that's Shelly and Samantha and me at the McDonald's where we met the Ulrichs, and that's Samantha, Brian, Gina, Cynthia, and Shelly visiting with them. I don't know if I had actually shown that. I think Shelly's always here to tell me they're not seeing what you're showing them.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's not your fault. William Hada says
you're going to have to get used to this. You got to do all the work.
They will offer stands. You know the offer. Let's see. Point V says, yes, it does not matter. Sun ray is what matters.
Wait. Charles Chapman, a basalt arrowhead in a buffalo skull.
Yeah,
that's my solve.
Oh, is it? That's in the
George Dabbas.
It's in one of scrapbooks. Yes.
Yeah. It's scrapbook 90. It's also memories. It's also in the OUAW book.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. So anybody who talks about that arrowhead in the skull, look at Dale Neitzel's blog and look for scrapbook number 90. The whole story's there.
And it's also an OUAW.
Oh, that's what I think, was it William was asking or Jack was asking about the Skylight Country. Do you know what he's referring to when he's talking about the Skylight Country?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to share that with them?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, there you are. Nice try. Debbie Teal's in the room. Point V also in the room. Let's see who else.
There was a Cynthia go up a couple.
Okay.
He was saving the church email for you. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
That was a church thingy, I guess.
3D Bronze says, the Gypsy's Kiss, I prefer to get up an hour early and just think. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention that I changed our shipping address from the San Mateo address, which is a half-hour drive for me, to an address that's closer to my house. So if you're going to send us something, make sure you check out the shipping address. It's kind of a neat address. It's like 2929 Enchanted Hills Drive or something like that. But we have a new shipping address if you decide to send us anything. If you send it to that old address, it will go into their lost and found or something. I don't know. Well, they'll call me. I kind of missed them. I had to turn in my keys this last week and tell them I'm getting a new UPS store. By the way, it is our shipping address is not my house. It's a UPS store because I have had searchers who showed up at the UPS store asking for me. I'm not there. It's just a box UPS store. We answered the fly your drone question. Drawing nigh. If you want me to call you, send me a text message saying, please call me. Just say, this is drawing nigh, please call me, and I'll call you back. That way we'll make sure we get your call. Wayne Ross says, would mind dressing Steve Wayne as the Wiz? It would make him feel good. I can't do that. Impossible. To me, he's always been and will always be Steve Wayne.
Read Tony's comment, the next one down, about Mother Nature.
Where is it? Oh, Mother Nature has Cynthia on a consulting contract.
Mother Nature's been very mean to me
Why?
during my searches because the weather sucks every
has it
time
been
I
bad?
go. It snowed in West Yellowstone on
the
first day
I
of
was
summer.
actually watching the weather.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Shelley mentioned that to somebody else that was...
Yeah, it flurried.
yeah.
It was cold again.
Sheets Trove says, hi, Cynthia and Toby. Hi there, Sheets Trove.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. Let's see. James Siri, I thought... okay, let's see. Let's see. What's drawing now? Still wants us to...
we already did that.
She wants to talk about you told her about the trespassing video,
yeah,
right?
we talked about that.
Let's see. Brian Heckman, that's a new name. Don't muddy the waters. Oh, why not? That's the best part of all this. Let's see. I don't see any others. Gypsy's Kiss, 7824. Oh, from, how nice of LR. LR, thank you for that. 7820 Enchanted Hills Boulevard, Suite 204, Rio Rancho, New Mexico. So that's our new shipping address. Thank you for doing that, LR. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you have anything to send us, make sure you don't send it to the old San Mateo address because...
Won't they forward it?
They will, yeah. But I'm just going down there, I've been with them for 7 years. It was actually, we had like one of those
Yep.
Nice. The manager's name is Regina, and I kind of hated to see her go. And then she said, "Oh, I live up in that area." So she lives up
It's a
here.
small world.
Works
Yeah.
down there.
Did you just get a call? I heard a ding.
It was General Roofing sent me an email message
Okay.
regarding the Arrowhead thing. So it
Oh,
might even be a picture. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's see what he's got here. Might be able to share a new picture. General Roofing. I don't know who that is. Oh, there it is. Arrowhead and a skull. Oh, these are the pictures of the Fenn arrowhead and a skull. Let me show you guys. That's what everybody's talking about. That's in Scrapbook 90. I will do screenshot here. So that's the arrowhead, Fenn's arrowhead, basalt arrowhead. Is that a buffalo skull?
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
I'm not familiar with buffalo.
It hangs on his wall in his office.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does.
So what is that? That looks like a bronze made from it.
It's weird looking, whatever it is.
And it's on the opposite side.
I don't know why. That's creepy looking.
Yeah. Oh, no, you know what? That's
that's a sculpture.
That's
a bronze sculpture.
But it's not.
And it's signed, if you look at right
Oh,
in
that's
there.
Dabbage's. That's the one that he made for him.
Okay. Yes. Very nice. Thanks for who sent that.
What does that say right there? Fenn.
It's a bronze. Fenn bronze.
Fenn bronze. Made December.
That was 12 of 50. So there were probably 50 made, and that's 12 of 50.
Okay. Yep. Very nice.
Very nice. Thanks for sending.
Thanks for sending that. Okay, full screen with the lower third. We're back to that. And we are at the end of the hellos. So let's read some text messages and let's listen to some voicemails. Okay.
Sounds good.
So we're going to take it from the bottom here. Oh, shucks, Wayne's got all kinds of things going. So this is from Wayne Ross. Well, I talked with Doug Scott today. Very interesting. So we'll call Wayne back and see what the conversation in a little bit. Voicemail time. Don't know who it's from, but let's see what happens here. Oops. Well, hang on. Am I connected here? Hold on.
Well, I get to hear this.
Yeah, you will. I've got to be connected. I think. Let me just make sure I'm connected to the. See, she keeps me on the line. It's also with all this. My car, Roadcaster Pro, connected. Setting.
Am I allowed to answer Jingo Bingo?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he just put in here in the chat room, Cynthia. The room is thinking you know something that Fenn may announce something at Fennbury. I have absolutely no idea what Fenn is going to do at Fennbury.
Sasha said she thought he wasn't going to be at Fennbury. Is that true?
I think he is going to be at Fennbury. But I have no information that he's going to have any kind of an announcement.
Bluetooth is connected. Microphone is on.
Call Shelley.
Oh, I'm going to have to.
Call Shelley and ask her.
I don't understand why
you need technical help, and that's not me.
Okay,
I'm
just
sorry.
a minute. Let me do something here. Let me just, you know what we'll do? Let me try calling out and see if we get audio here. So let me pick that one and. Oh, I know what it is. Shucks. I know what it is. Hold on. It is. When we were talking this afternoon, I turned the phone down.
Okay.
So let me try this again.
Man, this is hard.
This would be a little quicker to get a hold of you. This is Harold Frazee. I will be going through.
Okay, hold on. Let's take that from the top.
Harold.
Okay. Do you know Harold?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Hey, Toby. I just figured this would be a little quicker to get a hold of you. This is Harold Frazee. I will be going through Albuquerque on my way to Taos. I'll probably be staying in Albuquerque tonight. If you wanted to meet later, if you got time, probably wouldn't be there until like 8, 9 o'clock. And then I was going to get a motel there or breakfast in the morning. But you can get back with me.
We got to turn
Thanks.
that off
Bye.
so that we can't. We don't publish his
Yes.
phone number. I will give him a call after that. Let's see. So this is from 240. So remember that if you're sending me a text to include your first name and the state that you're writing the text from so that I know who it's from. I should have asked for instructions before I asked. Oh, never mind. That was a kind of a personal text. And and this is the picture from Brian. All right, another voicemail. Let me make sure there's no phone numbers in here. Let's see what this has to say.
Hey, Toby. Just wanted to say that I think you're doing a great job of keeping the community talking about the treasure and the excitement of the hunt and the chase, and I think it's an awesome thing. Just wanted to give you, in your community, a little insight into the mistakes I've made. You're talking about confirmation bias and just to be aware of being safe out there. I kind of got the gold fever, went out there a couple times with my family, once with my stepkids and once with my wife, and went way off the beaten path and into some pretty dangerous areas. And luckily, nothing happened, but I just realized that I really got caught up in the kind of the gold fever aspect of it. And now, about 3 or 4 years later, after joining the chase, I've come to the conclusion that it probably is very close to civilization, maybe even a couple of miles from a freeway. And so I just want to caution all your viewers and all your listeners, especially new hunters, just to be cognizant of, hey, yes, an 80-year-old man going out there, maybe with kids, maybe even with grandkids, and this is going to be probably a very safe place and somewhere that he would feel confident sending out families, and not somewhere dangerous where you're going to need to worry about bears, worry about the dangers of what we assume to find out there in the wilderness. Hope that helps. Wish you guys a lot of luck. Thanks, everybody. Good luck out there and be safe. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very, very kind of him to do that. So, see, this is old man not having Shelley. We forgot to play the Hello Chat Room video. We forgot to play the
Is that Shelley telling you
text.
this?
Yeah, she reminds me. Play the text message. You can see the thing. Play the text message. I'm going to have to start
funny.
saying, just send me a text message to remind me. So
That's funny.
let's see. So this is from, if you would like to talk to someone who actually has been to the arch, call me. My name is Brian. It's not really an arch. Call the number above and I'll explain. Okay, we will.
We already know it's 2 rocks.
Yeah.
No,
So
is that the same as the arrowhead thing? That's the arch, right? The
yeah,
arrowhead.
that refer to it
Yeah.
as
Okay.
it's referred
Yeah.
to as New Mexico
Yeah.
354, the Arrowhead Arch.
Okay.
Is the full proper name. So this one is from 907. Please read. So Forrest Fenn can confirm my solve. This is B from Alaska. I solved the poem. You are given hints in the first and last stanza on where the general location would be. Bias Caldera. You've been there.
I have.
In New Mexico, the second stanza has the first clue tied up with a second, which is the starting point, Water Canyons, where you take it down, San Antonio. It's San Antonito, right? Or no,
There's
it's
a San Antonio Creek.
Right. Campground where wait, there's more.
Yeah.
My daughters used
I
to
know
do
where
that.
it's at. I mean, not where the treasure's at. I know San Antonio
Yeah.
Campground. Yeah.
Continued from B, Brian from Alaska, or is AK Arkansas? Or
No, it's Alaska. I think.
Alaska,
okay.
is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Where you continue to the left side of the campground across number 29 campsite, place 200 feet from the parking spot where he parked. If you are wise and find the campground, look down for your quest to cease. No paddles up your creek is referencing a metal detector on land, not water. Continue from 200 feet from the parking spot. There his chest lies buried 6 feet deep. It is a bit mixed up, but you can get what I mean. He also has been present in most of the chat channels and so forth. I don't think that's true. In my opinion, of course, if you are wise and found it, he gives you title to the gold placed in Santa Fe National Forest. That's right.
And who was that from?
That was from Brian in Alaska.
It sounded so familiar. I just wondered if he had exchanged emails with me because that search was discussed with me in private emails.
This is from area code 405, no name. Remember to give me your name and state from in which you are located. Wasn't there a rumor that Forrest had an announcement in the next week or so? Yes, there is a rumor, but that's the extent of it. It's just a rumor. This is LR from Texas. Would Cynthia like to share what her key word is?
No. That's not my key word. No, I do not want to share my key word. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, just Cynthia holds her cards pretty close to the. Unlike me and Shelley, Cynthia holds her cards pretty close to the vest.
Unless it's a place I've already searched and I've crossed
Yeah, and then
it
you
off
can
the
cross
list.
it off the list.
Then I will talk about it.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back and.
Did you see this?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
That's another one from Drawing Nigh. Please remind people thin air's impact on asthma. So for those of you that are what we refer to as flatlanders, when you're coming up to this area, further going into the mountains, when you're in Albuquerque, you're at 5,800 feet. When you're in Santa Fe, you're at almost 7,000 feet. And the mountains you're going to go to are 8,000 to 10,000 feet. And if you're not accustomed to that, the air will be thin. It is so thin that in some of the more upscale motels and hotels in Santa Fe, the little basket that they put in your room actually has a can of oxygen, so with a mask on it, so that you can make sure you don't pass out while you're up there. Give yourself at least 2 days, maybe 3 days to acclimate. Keep completely hydrated, because it's going to be a completely different experience for you. Walking is going to be an effort. You're going to get winded walking. So that's what Drawing Nigh. If you have lung problems, everything that I just said, I mean, if you have asthma or other lung problems, everything I just said is going to be exacerbated. So just be aware of that when you come. Give yourself time to acclimate. Stay in Albuquerque a night, stay in Santa Fe a couple of nights before you move north from there. Tom Sawyer says, can we see the rooster video? You want to see the rooster? We haven't made anybody find it. Yeah, sure. We'll show. There we go. Rooster video coming up. Rooster videos. Roosters all around us. Okay, let's see. I think we were going to call somebody back.
Yes.
All right, so we are calling the number that came from 720, but is a different number to call back. And that person says, if you would like to talk to someone who has actually been to the Arch, call me. My name is Brian. Isn't that the guy from Alaska? Wait a minute. Arch, call the number. My pleasure. Thanks. All right, let's give him a call. Okay, we're calling.
Hello?
Hello, Brian. It's Toby and Cynthia calling from Gypsy Kiss. You have insight as to the Arch, the Arrowhead Arch in New Mexico.
I do. I've been in the position to see it, and it's not quite as they described. It's two completely separate rocks, about, 50 or 60 yards apart, that the juxtaposition when you're standing on the right angle on the beach makes the arch. It's not a true arch or a couple of collapsed rocks.
Uh-huh.
And it is directly in the middle of the canyon down there. And you really have to be in just the right spot on the north side of the river to be able to see it.
Interesting. So when you say you have to be in the right spot on the north side of the river, do you mean upstream from the arch and on the north side of the river?
No, it's actually where I saw it from was downstream, essentially almost directly in the middle of the gorge. I suspect, since the same two rocks, it would be from a certain angle upstream. You could see it as well up by Osier, but
I've never been to that.
To that area. So when you were downstream and you happened to see it, I'm assuming you weren't rappelling down the side of the Toltec, that you were on that road that leads along the river out of the Toltec Gorge. Is that correct?
No, believe it or not, I was right in the middle of the gorge. I've been from Osier to the top cabin down there above the public campsite
Yeah.
twice. I've traversed the entire gorge.
And walking through the gorge, you mean, or
Yes.
wading,
wading
through
floating down the river in a couple places.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say you were wading or floating down the gorge, the river and the gorge?
Yeah, there's at least 7 or 8 spots going down the gorge that there's no choice but to jump in the river.
Right, yeah. Are you familiar with Doug Scott? Are you a friend of Doug's by any chance?
No.
All right, because I know he's done
Who's
the same
that?
thing. He's a
Is he a fishing guide up there?
I don't know that he's a fishing guide. I know he's a New Mexico artist and photographer, and he maintains a website that maps out New Mexico in terms of grids that and what he's identified as all the photogenic waterfalls in New Mexico. And I think even the website is called Doug Scott Photographer or something like that. It's artist.
Okay.
And he does have a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel has several videos of he and some friends floating, as you suggested, down the Toltec.
Yeah, traversing down the gorge.
Yeah,
I
down
did
the gorge.
Well, I made the mistake of doing it with my 14-year-old daughter and her friend.
Oh.
And it's a rough trip, man. It's
Yeah.
a lot rougher than they make it look
Yeah.
in that video.
Yeah. Yeah, that 14-year-old daughters and friends would be danged interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty much as you're walking down the gorge from Osier. Once you get to a certain place in the river, or essentially once you jump in once, there's no going back up.
Right.
You cannot.
Yeah.
There's no paddle up your creek.
Right.
And you have to continue down, and as you go down, it's essentially one obstacle after another. You keep having to cross the Los Pinos to get to the other side, so you can walk a little bit, and then you walk 150 yards and have to cross the river again. And there's like I said, 4 or 5 spots where there's no place to walk on either side.
Yeah.
You just have to jump in the river and float.
And so what do you think about my theory of using the sun's rays casting its light through that arch onto either the west side of the Toltec or the east side of the Toltec, sunrise and sunset? What do you think about that? Possible?
I like it, and you definitely have to be in the right spot and in the right position to see it. But it's two, like I said, it's 2 rocks. One is 50 or 60 yards behind the other, and I think if it was pointing upstream, it would point up towards Osier to a spot.
Yeah.
And downstream, once you get down to the bottom of the canyon, there it becomes private property.
Yeah. No, we've actually been on both sides along the river, and we know exactly where the private property starts. And now they've just recently put a gate up there. So.
Yeah, there from the bottom campground, there's about 6 gates now.
Oh, is there really?
On the way up that road. Yeah, there's a bunch of cabins up there.
Yeah.
And the guy that owns the top cabin is a social studies teacher in Santa Fe.
Uh-huh.
And at Santa Fe High School. And when we stumbled out of the gorge the first time we did it, he gave us a ride down to the campground.
Right.
To the public campgrounds. It was about 10 miles, which we were very grateful for because it had been a long hike at that point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But my theory of the arch is, and until I saw it, once I saw it, I wasn't thinking about the sun coming through it. I was thinking I was going to find an actual arch that was going to point down, directly down at the point on the river that that was right below it. And as it turned out, since they were 50 or 60 yards apart, I searched the 50 or 60 yards between the 2 rocks fairly carefully. not as, of course, not as. You always leave a search area and you kick yourself for not searching
Further.
more,
Yeah.
better.
I know the feeling.
But there's a nice cave back into the north side of the cliffs there that would have been good. If you put it back there, it could be covered in mud and you'd need a metal detector to find it.
Yeah, but don't you
But
think
it certainly would be wet?
if you were to let's say you considered the Arch the Blaze and you went down the gorge from there into the river, we're talking the 80-year-old man theory kind of holds in. That's not a trip. That's not a trek for.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's a little more serious, and that's my wife over and over said they can't be down there because he could never go down.
Never go down there and never get back.
I gotta believe that. And if you're talking to searchers, as you folks are, we have to absolutely, especially this time of year. This time of year, there's no way you could do the hike that I did. This time of year, going down that gorge would be a death sentence.
Yeah, because you're dealing with the runoff, and we have an extremely high runoff this year. I've been watching the USGS.
Absolutely discourage people from going down in that canyon because it's a serious deal. And the problem is, if you make the mistake of going a little bit too far, you just cannot go back up.
Right.
There's no way to go back upriver.
Yeah,
the
once
way you came, you have to continue down.
Well, we scouted the opening to the gorge from above, and with both Shelley and Kevin and the drone, and we came to the same conclusion. It can't be any further than this location on the river, simply because there is no way. The 80-year-old man rule. It's just not. He's just not going to put you in that position. So
no matter what time of year it is, really.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Well, Brian, thanks for letting us call you back. We appreciate your offer of information and intelligence, and thanks for keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, feel free to call me if you ever need to know anything about that area. I've been there the last 9 years in a row.
Oh, great! I might take it. I might take advantage of that. Do you have any photographs?
Do I have photographs?
Yeah.
Oh, all kinds of them. Yeah, I can send you a bunch. If you want.
Oh, great. Okay.
The area itself is kind of a mishmash of private property and BLM land, and public property, and honestly, I would over the winter determine a place that I wanted to search and go back that summer to search it, and it would take me days to figure out how to get in.
Right, because I know on the from the northern approach in Colorado, there are roads that lead down to that area above the railroad tracks. The problem is you'll be driving down a road that you think is a forest road, and suddenly you come to a gate that represents a private property or a community that's been built up there, and you don't know it until you're
BLM leases. Those are.
Exactly. Yeah. Those long-term leases. All right, sir. Well, thanks for calling in, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yeah, I'll send some pictures of the same text number that.
Well, no, that doesn't take photographs. Use our email address, gypsieskiss@gmail.com. It floats by every once in a while above it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll play them out next week.
And next time we talk, I'll tell you about the stupidest thing I've done in the canyon.
Well, let's share. You and I can share stupid stories, so let's do that.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I tied a rope onto that railing above Rock Tunnel and climbed down that canyon.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, you've got to be a whole bunch younger than me because...
a whole bunch dumber.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, have you ever done anything stupid while you're out searching?
Not compared to the people I talked to at the function of the junction last
Oh,
weekend.
really?
I mean, these little PSAs I'm putting out, the bear spray, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, no. I heard stories, and I'm not going to say the names or the exact spots. Well, actually, the one guy, he had searched, I think, on the far side of the Lamar River in Yellowstone National Park, and he and his friends actually swam over, searched during the daylight, and by the time they headed back, it was totally dark. And they had a rope they were using, then the rope came loose, and he's still on the far side of the Lamar to get back to their vehicle. Oh my God, that was one story. There was another story. Oh, let me finish that though really quick. So this guy, he eventually, it was really, really difficult for him to get back to the side of the Lamar where his car was. Two buddies were there. He still had to get there. They let go of the rope, so he has no rope. He ended up swimming across, or I guess he swam upstream because he knew there was going to be an island. He didn't swim, but he was able to get to this island where the current would be less vicious. He actually was able to get back to the side he needed to be on up from the car. He said as he came out of the river up onto the bank, a Yellowstone National Park ranger was standing there, and he said, "Are you the guy that was reported missing?" And there were other adjectives in there. It was from where this guy was from. I don't want to release that information. Anyway, and this guy knew that the ranger was talking about him, and he said, "Well, yes, that is me, but obviously I'm not missing because I'm standing here." And the ranger looked at him, I guess, wondering. And the searcher guy gave this story that the trail that he and his buddies were using, it was like I don't know how long of a loop trail. I mean, like 30 miles. Said, we knew we couldn't get back to our cars, so we decided to swim across. And the guy had a neoprene wetsuit on, and the ranger said, "Well, my God, you're really prepared," and off he went. I never knew this. I never knew. So the ranger, in that situation, the ranger was really cool to the searcher guy because this guy apparently was well prepared and did not need to be rescued. Another stupid story I heard over the weekend. I cannot believe more people have not died. Another guy years ago, before Fenn put out that it's not underwater, which came out in summer of 17. Yeah, because Eric Ashby was 17.
And he also had the Rio Grande
and Paris Wallace. So anyway, it was right before that, and this searcher guy thought it was in. He wouldn't even say Yellowstone, but through his story, I could tell it was Yellowstone, but in a river there, and I don't know which river. He scuba dived at night in the dark.
Because scuba diving
he scuba dived in the dark because he thought it was underwater. And I think it was the current was swifter than he expected. It knocked his BC off that he couldn't find it. His flashlight got dropped on the river bottom. He had no light. He couldn't find his breathing control apparatus.
The regulator.
So he just surfaced real quick. And then he saw his light was still turned on in the bottom of the river. So he actually could dive down and get his light. Now, these are the craziest stories of searchers I have ever heard. My whole weekend, that was one of the best things about the function, is the people sharing these stories with some of us.
So
it's like I was in awe. I mean, I'm thinking, my God, this is just the stupidest stuff. But if you do go back to the earlier years, a lot of people thought it was either
in the water,
or you had to cross a river, or you had to cross a river. And so if you're in Yellowstone and the Lamar Valley actually has some really, really good solutions to it. So, and then I thought, God, I'm a pussy, you know. I mean, I think because I'm in water up to my knees, it spins me around, I fall down, blah, blah. So what?
Yeah.
I was never going to die there.
Right. Yeah.
Compared to these other searchers, it's
you're
like,
end up with wet
my
pants.
God.
Yeah.
Maybe a wet camera, a wet phone, but nothing dangerous.
You're going to take some tanks, buoyancy compensator, regulator,
wetsuits. Oh, my God. In the dark.
In the dark, and dive into...
Yeah, I mean, and I'm talking in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. This guy did this. So anyway, after hearing some of the stories from these early searchers, they're current searchers well, but earlier in their search attempts.
Are they less adventurous now, or are they still making?
No, I think they've learned. Well, Fenn's announced that it's not underwater, so they can. But that doesn't mean they still won't cross a river to get to the other side. The guys that went across the Lamar River actually were trying to get to the other side on land, where they were going to look. Yeah. So
well, if you
crazy. I can't believe more people haven't drowned.
There was a video that Dale made in New Mexico with. What's his name? That the KOAT.
Gotti Schwartz.
Yeah, Gotti Schwartz. And they were
in the Red River.
They were in the Red. They were looking under a waterfall, banging against a rock, right in the middle of the river. You know.
Yep. So anyway,
that was the olden days. By the way, for those of you on the Facebook page, we can see your comments. Raphael Book, he writes, let's see what he says. They're so amazing. I enjoy time better than any other time in my life. Thank you. Pootie Tang. Wait, is Pootie Tang in the room? Did you see Pootie Tang?
I did not.
Mitzi?
Not on here.
Okay.
Is that Facebook you're looking at?
Well, I
there?
can look at Facebook here. See?
Okay.
So I'm seeing all of this on Restream.io.
Okay.
You can't see it over there.
No.
Davio says, Cynthia, badass. My favorite searcher, Bootay all the way.
I'm not a badass compared to these other people. I feel like a sissy.
I will not be, by the way, I will not be rappelling down the Toltec Gorge to see if I can get a good shot of the Arrowhead Arch. So, all right. Phone lines. Oops, sorry. So I just got this from TBH. It says, play the text video, Toby. Shelley's probably saying that right now. Yeah, that's what I had. Let's see. So he's continuing on. This is the Valles Caldera. Placed in Santa Fe National Forest from from Alaska. Obviously, a metal detector won't go 6 feet deep, so he placed it 2 scrap metal pieces halfway point at 3 feet, and some medium-large rocks as well.
That was the Caldera saw?
Yeah, that was a Caldera saw. Please listen to your message. We were unable to transcribe this audio. All right, this could be bad.
Hello?
Oh, dang nabbit.
Toby, are you there? Toby?
He's reaching voicemail. And the voicemail starts with I have a greeting on there.
Okay.
So we got another one with no transcription available. And all right. So before I make another mistake, I am going to play the inbound call video because I've got to remember this stuff now that Shelley's not here. Let's see. Where now I can't even find it. Text time, warming, emails, chat room, leads. What? Open phone.
Hello. Hello.
Who's there? I'm talking. Hello.
Hello. Who is this?
You know what this is.
This is Robert De Niro. You know who this is. Phone lines are open, 866-597-9901. I think we have time for at least one call. Call in and talk to Toby and Cynthia if you have questions for Cynthia. Billy, we're not doing songs right now. We had a big fight with, we got an inbound call, big fight with YouTube. So we'll explain that later. Hey, you've reached Cynthia and Toby at Gypsy Kiss. Who are you? Where are you from? And what's your question or observation?
Hey, Toby, it's Wayne Ross.
Hey, Wayne Ross, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yep.
So, yeah, a bunch of those blank voicemails are me trying to call in, and I hung up every time I got the voicemail.
Oh, okay. No worries, but don't worry about it.
So I talked to Doug Scott today, and that was very interesting. So basically, yeah.
So before you do that, tell everybody who Doug Scott is for me, please.
Well, so when we talked last Wednesday, I gave you the website to go to, and it talked about the arches. Well, Doug Scott was the only person who had commented on this arch, and he had actually climbed out of the gorge to see it. And so he is a guy whose name was already familiar to me from the Waterfall website, but he also has a book that he's written, or at least he has a link to, I guess it is online, all the arches in New Mexico. So when I first looked this arch up in Bing, and I use Bing more than I use Google, but when I first looked it up in Bing, under the number NM-354, it brought up that site that we looked at when I was on the phone with you the other day, and I think you showed part of it tonight. So Doug Scott was on that site. So he has a website of his own called DougScottArt.com.
I've got it.
And he had a gallery in Santa Fe.
So hang on. Let me go back to his main site, the Doug Scott Art.
Yeah.
So I've got it on the screen in front of me so folks can see it. So that's Doug Scott
and
Art.
You can see that's a list of all the arches down there, and that's his map that he uses to give the coordinates for kind of what area they're at.
So I've got the main site, right? Doug Scott Art Online sales, videos, longest block, public sculpture.
I'm seeing you on delay like the other night, so
Yeah.
sorry about that.
So I'm at DougScottArt.com. I was at DougScottArt.com/hobbies.
Outdoor books. Go to the outdoor books link.
Oh, okay. All right. Oops. Go to the outdoor books. Doug Scott's Outdoor Books, New Mexico Waterfalls and Other Outdoor Wonders. So
his canyon one is good too.
Wait, so I'm on the New Mexico.
And then the arches.
Let me see. Oh, I see it. New Mexico Natural Arches and Bridges. So let's go to that. Oh, there we are. Okay. So there it is. There's the arrow.
Anyway, so he had been there. So I emailed him, or no, I didn't. I looked up his gallery, which is now closed, and it still had a phone listing for how to get in touch with him. So I called that number and I left a really brief message, and I just told him exactly who I was and what I was looking for. And I said, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about this arch. I know you may be retired. You look like you've closed your gallery. I don't want to take up much of your time and so on. Kind of like I did when I wrote you last week, Cynthia, about this arch.
Yeah.
But I never heard back from you. But at any rate, the point being that he was on the road. So he called me back today from Washington. He was in Washington State, and he may be out there looking at waterfalls. But anyway, he was very nice, very accommodating. He's 68 now. And that's my age as well. So I'm kind of in the same group with you, Toby. We're all getting up there. But he was telling me that this arch was extremely difficult to get to, and that he said it's also, you can't even see it from a lot of places. And he said he felt like that there were probably only 10 or 11 people who had even ever actually seen it and been there.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last guy that you were talking to on the phone, I believe was correct, because you can see in that photo, those stones aren't 50 or 60 feet apart that you line up to form the arch. They're leaning against each other.
Yeah.
And I think they're at that specific GPS location.
So this photograph that I'm looking at, the one with the arch on Doug Scott's website, who shot that photo? Do you know?
So I originally thought Larry Beck shot that photo. Yeah. But after today, I'm thinking that Doug shot that photo.
Oh, I see. He does
Larry
mention
Beck has that other arch website.
He does mention in the commentary below the picture, Arrowhead Toltec Arch is out on the brink of the same bedrock ridge as the upper Cumbres and Toltec tunnel cuts through. One must climb out as far as possible onto the first protruding ridge west of the tunnel. This is neither advised nor legal, but it is extremely exciting and invigorating. Another fact is that the cross-tie walking is trespassing and thus illegal, meaning you can't follow the railroad down to that from Osher. But it happens a lot, and us cross-tie walkers excite the passengers. Nice.
Right. So you can see that he also commented that this arch is on the point there. When you look, if you back off, I think even the photo you showed a while ago of where the arch was located.
Yeah.
That whole rock formation forms kind of an arrowhead. If you go to the ends of the tunnel and then out to where the arch is, that makes a triangle, and there's a ridge of rock that makes it almost look like the shaft of an arrowhead.
Oh, interesting.
And I found that very interesting because I thought that's also kind of pointing down into the gorge. And, Cynthia, you may not have heard, but it was Tom Terrific. When he had his Toltec gorge saw off, I think he thought it was actually in the tunnel, but he pointed out that he thought that the openings of the tunnel formed the double omegas
right
on either side. And I thought that was kind of an interesting reference as well. So the bottom line is, so Doug Scott said, Toby, that he said, this is dangerous and you shouldn't go out there without a rope on. You should be roped off and, belayed and to protect yourself. So I don't want people going out there and thinking they're going to go to that particular spot. I think you need to see where you can see it from, though.
Right, yeah.
And that's what I would be interested in looking at. Now, the other thing, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's why God gave
Well, what I
us.
was going to
That's
say
why
is I
God.
just want to address your theory on the light.
Yeah.
No, I know it's near the end. As far as the light shining through that, think about a camera and an aperture and a camera, and how the lens, you shine light through the lens,
Yeah.
the small opening, and it comes out and broadens out. I think there's too much bleed through from around the sides of this arch for it to create a shaft of light that would be distinct at any distance at all. It's only a 5 or 6 foot opening, Toby. So we've watched those "It Is What It Is" videos, and remember how small that red marker was at 500 feet?
Yeah.
If you're down in the gorge, that's how small that's going to be.
Right.
And there's sky right around it because the rock on top that forms the arch is only about a foot. Looks like it may only be a foot or 2 thick. So all around that is light that's also shining that same direction at sunrise or sunset. So something to consider. I'm not sure the physics on your idea. Great idea. I love that. But I'm not sure physically that it would be possible for that to happen. But
I can.
I think it's more line of sight.
Yeah. I could make it possible. Anything is possible.
Well, so yeah, we ought to. I mean, it's worth checking out.
That's what I said. That's what I was going to say. The climb. I don't need to make the climb. I have a drone that can do this for me.
Right. No, that's right. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. So I'm coming to Fenndango. I plan to be in Santa Fe Thursday night. So I hope I can meet you guys. And if you want to go out there, Toby, I know you've got shows on Friday and stuff, but if you want to go Saturday or something, let me know.
All right, I will let you know. Well, we may meet up with you at Fenndango.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for taking my call.
As usual, thanks for calling in. Okay. So we have this to play. Let's see.
Maybe we should just take some time off from each other. It's not you, it's me. It's what I'm going through.
Now wait a minute, just hold on.
Bye-bye. Is this a fake hang-up?
Phone lines are closed, brothers and sisters. So
that cracks me up.
We're coming up to the 9 o'clock hour. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've had a good time. Miss Cynthia, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. You know you're always welcome back in that seat.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned this afternoon, Shelley will be joining me on Wednesday nights for Hump Day Hoedown. And then we'll have an open seat on some Fridays. I'm considering auditioning to fill that position on Friday nights. Maybe you'll see something happening there. I'll talk to Shelley about it, see what happens. So. If you're in the Albuquerque area and a searcher and of the female persuasion, the necessary contrast, we might have auditions and somebody can be in that chair and on Friday afternoons. Who's Baby Affleck? That even sounds cute. So, Baby Affleck. Okay. All right, guys. So, time to call it a night. That's how we do it. All right, you want to say your good nights?
Yes, good night, everybody. It was fun to be here to chat with everybody and hang out with Toby for 2 hours. Thanks for watching.
Goes by quick, doesn't it?
It does. It flew.
It really is. How quick it goes by is amazing. All right, thanks for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. You got a little under or 2 more days to take that survey. Please do so. It's important in terms of information collection. We don't ask for personal or contact information, so go ahead and do it. And then I'll see you on Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Shelley and I will see you at Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then we'll announce what the rest of our schedule for the rest of the summer is going to be as we adjust to the softer side, and it's not a restoration. So thanks for joining us tonight. We really enjoy having you guys around.